Hello everybody, my name is Cedar. Welcome back to Divine Journey 2. Just before this episode, I put a couple of these imps into a soul vial, which means I think we all know what time it is. Yeah, so I think we've outgrown this little imp farm, considering that we have powered spawners now that we can set up pretty easily. And at this point, I think I need more room for machines. So, had to be done. Slightly unfortunate, but at the same time, you know, it's fine. So we're going to clear up the space a little bit, and I think what I'm going to have to do is set up some potion stands. So going forward, we're getting to the point where we need to automate a lot of potions, right? So all the tier 3 reagents, they all need a potion, right? So this is strength 4, this is instant damage 4, this is speed 4, and then this one doesn't need a potion, but then we had the other one that needed, haste needs, like haste 4, right? So that's at least 4 level 4 potions that we need to make here. Now I have these set up just making speed 4, and I'm just getting as many as I can, but just bulk crafting them is not going to work going forward, and I think I figured out a way that I can do this without too much setup. So there's no way around having a separate potion brewer for each potion. But I think that if I do it correctly, I can set it up so that I can reuse this alchemical retort chain in order to do all of them. So if I put in, as long as I put in the exact right amount of potions in order to get the stuff out, then it should be fine, right? Because then this won't be left with anything in it, and it can just run the processing chain for however many. So as long as I craft exactly the right number at a time, then I should be able to reuse these 4 machines here. And I believe that number is 15. So if I put 15 bottles in here, that'll make 15 times 250, which is something. 15 times. No, okay, so it'll make 15 times 250, which is something, but then every 250 gets you 150 millibuckets of the level 4 potion, and 15 times 150 is 2250, which is a multiple of 250, which means we can pull out the exact amount in the last fluid transposer. So that means 15 of these bottles will give you 9 of the 4 potions. So we just need to set that up in a pattern. And they can stack in the pattern, right? I hope so. I really, really hope so. Let's just test this out a little bit. So we're going to get I guess they don't. Maybe there's going to be a way around that. I'll look into it, but anyway, the patterns are not my concern because, I mean, even without the patterns right now, it'll just be 15 empty bottles, throw them in here, and then we will get 9 of the 4 potions out the other end, which I think is super cool. But I can't have it set up in here because this whole area is awful to look at. It's becoming a huge mess. Some cleanup, I think, is definitely necessary. So I will just set most of it up, I think, where this imp farm used to be. And so I can have just these machines going down in a line, and then however many potion brewers I need, which at the moment I think is 4, plus there are some that need other potions, like this one right here needs a splash potion of harming, which a separate potion brewer is going to be the best for that. That's not a potion, even though it kind of looks like one. But yeah, there's a few potion type items that we're going to need, right? So it's all good though. It's all good. I think we're gonna get this automation set up, and it's gonna be great. In the meantime, though, I have set up the Hellfire Forge and Alchemy table to be able to craft the next essences and reagents for us, and we should have everything we need for most of that. So if we just could look for, it's really annoying that these only appear under Content Tweaker, but we can go ahead and make some of these. We don't have enough basalts powder for that, which is something that I'm not like technically auto crafting, like it's here, but I'm not bringing that into the system. Maybe I should be. Clearly I should be, but all I have to do there is just hook this up to these drawers, right? And then put them in a drawer somewhere. So that's not super a concern to me. They're made with obsidian, which is super easy to come by. So not really a concern. I'm going to go for 4 of each of these new essences. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. I do need some more of these arboreal essences. I'm missing tin ore. That can't possibly be right. I mean, I set the pattern to use the wrong tin ore. That's my bad. I did set up the ME system over here with all these machines for all the gas stuff. And this line is totally full now as well. So next time we need more ME stuff over here, I'm going to need to run another line all the way from the controller, but that is something I'm not going to worry about right now. But I will just reconfigure these patterns to use the right type of tin ore. And then we should be good to go. I wonder how valid it would be, or like what would happen if you tried to make a pattern with no inputs. Probably just wouldn't work, right? Because then like what if, would it just pull the amount that it needs from the autocraft? That's actually an interesting prospect. Because like, you know, if you had an interface hooked up to this and you just had a full output of stone, say, and you just gave it a pattern that said it makes this amount of stone with no inputs, would it just pull the right amount of stone right away? That would be really interesting, actually. Oh, that'd be awesome if it worked that way. I mean, like, it doesn't really matter because you can just pull it into the drawers, but that would be really cool, right? So also the arboreal essence. Okay, I'll worry about that at a slightly later time. This we have everything to make. And then the other one is going to be this one, Virtus. And this, we don't have the glass bottles. You don't know how to make glass bottles? Really? No, don't use crystal glass. Use regular glass. There you go. Okay, so that should be giving us all of those except for the ones that we don't have. Oh, I was going to say, why is this getting stuck? But pulling the buckets out is just a little bit slow. I did set up Cyclops in the spawner here so we could get these Cyclops eye shards because that's something that we need. And in response to the no amount of sugar I had, I did set up sugar cane over here as well. And I put the greenhouse glass here on top. This does apparently work. I didn't do like any kind of comparison to see how well it's working, but we have 13K. So it's working pretty well, I would say. And yeah, one thing I want to do, or I'm going to have to do, I guess, soon is automate this pyre because there are a lot of things that do need, maybe not a lot, but there's this, which needs to be on the pyre. And that's something that it seems like we're going to need a lot of. But I don't know how to automate it. Apparently you can use like a dispenser, have fire underneath it, and you don't need the flint and steel. But we can get it figured out, I'm sure. Yeah, but for now, what are the saplings that we need for it? So hopseed sapling, I do want to get to the point where I don't have to worry about running out of any of these saplings, right? So the silver bells I don't need to worry about, but everything else that I need for the essence, I think I'm a little bit low on. So I'll go ahead and throw one at least in here. And like this is using sugarcane for now. It kind of works out because the trees and the sugarcane both need this like checkerboard pattern. I guess the sugarcane doesn't need it, but it works well enough. There's probably a more efficient pattern, but you know, do you really need efficiency when you basically get this for free anyway? But yeah, okay, let me get these saplings together and then move on. Okay, I went ahead, I bit the bullet because I think this is going to be really, really handy. I set up the farming station just to farm all 4 types of trees that we're going to be using for our boreal essence. The only thing now is the hardened blood droplet, which I can't quite... Oh, that's cool. I can't quite automate that as well yet because we don't have automated blood from blood magic, but that's coming. That's coming. So I'll just make those manually for now. My main worry is just running out of these saplings, which I don't think... Oh my god. That is so cool, honestly. Like, you can see, like... It could be annoying. I think it's cool. I mean, even if it drapes down to the ground, like that's just going to be cool, I think. But yeah, so I'm not worried about running out of these saplings anymore. We don't have any tiger wood because it's still, filling up the old inventory here. It's also complaining about no shears. I don't know if that's because, if I put shears in, it could collect the leaves, but I don't care for the leaves, so that doesn't matter. I just won't worry about it. This is really dark all of a sudden here. I don't know what happened to whatever torches may have been here, but there you go. And I actually think, I'm pretty sure this one got knocked out by... Did I really put that in the exact right place? Okay, nice. I think it got knocked down by some water that I accidentally made down here, so that's fine. But yeah, we'll just let that build up for a little bit. Oh, I don't know how that willow sapling got mixed up in there, but these are all locked, so yeah, I guess I won't worry about it. That should all be fine once everything starts growing and we get a nice backlog of saplings. And I think I am going to automate the pyre because there's enough stuff that I think it's going to be worth it. Like the arboreal essence, it seems like we're going to be using a lot going forward, and that's on the pyre. You only get 5 at a time. But then also, if you look at the mortar, that's made with charred stone, which is also made on the pyre, and the mortar is used in making endervors, and the unending bowl, which you make from those, is a really, really convenient item that it would be nice to be able to autocraft, because the more of those I can get, the better. So yeah, I think this is a huge QOL thing going forward. We just need to get it set up. Yeah, so I think it's definitely worth it to automate the pyre, and apparently this is really easy. So you do need to load it up with the recipe that it needs first, but then after that, I should be able to just put items in the chest below, and it should work. And then also, in order to actually do the craft, all I need is some netherrack nearby. So I'll just put some netherrack here, on fire, of course. I'll put that down here. Somewhere in there. There you go. Put that there. Light it. Okay, there we go. There we go. That works. And that's fine. So now once it finishes that craft, and I guess I'll need like an absorption hopper or something for that. But once it finishes, now it has the sneak right click with empty hand to repeat the craft. Yes. Oh my god. That's so good. Okay. That's so easy and so good. So I guess, right. And I have an absorption hopper. So all I need to do is throw an ME interface down there next to the chest. And then that should be everything I need. Now the issue is, of course, for every craft you want to do, you need a separate pyre. But I mean, they're like super early game, so it should be pretty easy, right? I'm not too worried about that. We have a few of these left. It's basically just these anyway that I want to automate, right? It's going to be these plus... Yeah, awesome. It's going to be these plus charred stone, maybe? But charred stone is definitely not a priority. And then you want to be items on north. And then you can just go ahead and insert. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I can't believe this works as well as it does. Okay, well, the arboreal essence is the main concern anyway. And I've been leaving this for a while, so we got about 700 of those, a few thousand of the other saplings. I'm not too concerned. I don't know why the tigerwood ones seem to come in so much slower, but there's enough that I'm not concerned with it anyway. But yeah, I think this farming station now I'm just going to leave alone, and if I do need other crops, I'm just going to set up another one, because this one farming station has seen like 10 different types of crops at this point, and it's just past the point of being worth it to keep switching it out. So let's get this patterned up. Arboreal essence. You need all of that. And I want to just make a bunch of these just to make sure that it's going to work. Unfortunately, I don't have any hardened blood. That's not what I meant to put in there. Although, if I do put it in there, it's just going to get sucked into the system as soon as it can. So that's fine. Just got to get this connected up. And you can use that. I should probably replace that with a dense cable, which I do have one on me, which is just about perfect. And sometimes the morphing tool is a bit glitchy because sometimes it needs to change like to and from the correct wrench. And in situations like this where I'm like working above like that. Sometimes it's hard to actually get it to change back because there's no blocks in the vicinity, but it's not so bad. I think it's a nice trade-off for how convenient it is to have everything in one tool anyway. Better than the alternative. Okay. Very cool. Okay, so now we have automated pyre stuff, which is very cool. I am going to go ahead and make a few of those droplets just so I can see it automate more than one thing, because I'm a little bit concerned. I don't know if I should be. I probably shouldn't be, but I am a little bit concerned. So let's see let's see it in action. All right, I just put 10 blood droplets in there. So let's go ahead and make 50. That's going to take 10 of each thing. Head over here. That's looking good. It's just so insane that I like I don't know what it is about like automation progress that like it feels unobtainable, and then when you get it, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, of course I can automate this. Like this is just like I'm never gonna have to worry about arboreal essence again. And like prior, that was like a huge concern for me, I think. So that is just hugely good. I don't have any other words other than good. But so we can take some of this stuff out now. So didn't I made 4 of these. Is that what I needed the essence for? Maybe. What would the base salts powder be used for? Because I remember taking that out and putting it in the system. Okay, well, whatever. Maybe I did already make those, but then would they have been like used for something? I don't think so. Let's just get these made. Like maybe it's not doing anything weird, is it? No. I definitely set these to craft. I guess that was just one of the ones that didn't, because I do have all the other ones here. And then we'll get the creepidus done, which is just a funny name. Take a look at that. So yeah, it's going to be making, so this is the final product, and then it's making those in between. So, okay, my LP should be fine. I'm not concerned about that. It just does take a while because it uses the alchemy table for a bunch of different things. I guess that's where all my base salts powder went, because that goes into the catalyst. So that makes sense. I just used it making the other stuff. Sure. So I think I might as well just throw that into the drawers here, so I always have some passived. And that should be fine. So 64, there you go. And then you just need another conduit to pull out onto green, right? Which may be an issue. Is that going to be an issue? That's pulling out on green. Why is it pulling out on yellow? Because it's going here. Right. I wish I could have it pull out on 2 separate channels. The issue with these machines is they don't pull out on the front. But you know what? Thankfully, this is the one on the top, so I can just set it up to pull from the top, and the other ones I can't. So that works out insanely well. It's not at all what I meant to do. And just have you extract on green. Always. And we should be filling up there a little bit. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now we're passiving that, which we definitely need. I think upgrading the speed of at least this machine is going to be good. These, fluid transport, like filling those, it's notoriously slow. So definitely going to have to increase that once I ramp up the production of this stuff. But right now, I think it's fine. So that should be the quest for the advanced essences here. We get some of that catalyst back. And so there are a couple things that we can do now. We do have access to the higher tier promise. We just need some Tempest reagent, which this should be doable as well. I need to automate these wind chimes. They come from red cedar wood. And I do have like 1 red cedar sapling left. I forget if you can like farm those, because that's all I have for red cedar. So if this one doesn't yield any saplings, then I will need to go do the ritual again. But I imagine, I always think bone meal is one word in this game. I imagine you can farm them, because otherwise you'd have to like do the ritual all the time, and that seems awful. So this is just a matter of luck. Yeah, we're good. We got 2. So 2, not quite enough to say that we're past the point where we have to worry about it. Okay, now we have 3. We're probably fine. It would be very unlikely to have 3 trees at this point, not give any saplings back. Yeah, I think this is fine at this point. Should probably set this up in a farming station, but for the moment, before we need to like, because you don't need to passive them, right? I'm pretty much just making them on demand. And if I can make these on demand, I can grow red cedar trees on demand. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. Now, I do know how to automate everything there other than the wind chimes. So let's get the wind chimes. Of course, they're going to be on the almost the last page. So nothing here is too bad. Iron rods are still not automated. I did read, like, you know, I could just make the rods with the 2 ingot recipe rather than having to use the metal press. Honestly, I'm leaning towards it because, like, at this point, is it really necessary to, like, save that 1 ingot? Like, it is double. You're doubling your usage of ingots, but, like, for how often rods are used, i.e. not often at all, I don't know if it's really worth it. So we need 3 of these Tempest reagents. What am I missing there? Red cedar wood. Oh, it's still in my inventory. That would do it. Tempest reagent. So 3 of those, and they should get crafted up in the Hellfire Forge pretty quick. Yeah, very cool. How much do these use? Like 32, 34 maybe? 54? How much was that? They use 36 will. Okay. Not too bad. Yeah. So I'm actually going to need another 3 of those because I need 2 of the cores. Now I'm missing this red coal. Have 1, missing 2. I really should set up an automated resonator. But at this point, I've gotten by with just auto-crafting everything, but lunar reactive dust has been a little bit annoying. It's mostly fine, though. But yeah, let's... I'll get this crafted up. We have everything. We do need 4 more of these. Just the 4 I currently have are in my inventory. What are you missing there? Aerogel. Right, okay. Maybe automating the aerogel is something I can't really get away with putting off any longer. So automating aerogel is a little bit of a scary prospect because apparently if the mechanical user uses a lava bucket on an existing aerogel, it crashes the game, which means if you automate it and you do it wrong so that it does crash, it's pretty much going to crash whenever you load in. You can fix it by deleting the ether dimension, but I would rather not have to do that. Plus then you lose like the mechanical user and everything else you would have set up in here. So use item for lava buckets. And that's not doing it. Redstone on? Maybe you want redstone pulse. Nope. Maybe not. There's definitely a way to do this. Let me look into this a bit. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna abort this plan because you know, even though I did find a guide and you set it up with integrated dynamics and stuff and you get it like working and it's all fine, I was still advised, like, just make sure you don't do it wrong because then you can crash the game and then that's hugely annoying. And then somebody was like, yeah, well, you get seeds in like 2 chapters anyway. Oh yeah, okay, fine. I'll just automate it when I get seeds. So that's going to be pretty soon. So for now, I'll just make whatever I need in bulk, as annoying as it is. I mean, is it that annoying? Yeah, but I can manage. All right, we're ready to craft the next tier of Promise of Tenacity. So first thing, we need these cores. That was a really stupid way to do that. And that there, and that there. Tempest cores. And now we put those together. We do need the Bowls of Promises, this time strength 2. So in total, that takes around 100,000 blood, I think, to fill these up to strength 2 for both. So, you know, not too bad, but we're going to get proper blood automation soon. But it's nothing to worry about regardless. So there we go with Promise of Tenacity 3. And there's the quest. And we get some Tapestry Agent back, which is good. Make sure we have that to finish the quest here. We got that complete. And so that is going to be the last one we need before we get into the runic plate here. So that is going to require the next tier of slate, which we can get pretty easily as well. We just need to actually stick one of those in. So slate, we have 1 reinforced slate. Let's just go make 1 while we're at it. Make sure there's enough blood in here. 8,000 should be good. 500 left over. And now let's go ahead and stick the Promise of Tenacity 3 into here. So this holds 640,000 millibuckets of blood. So it doesn't even fill up with what we had before. It's a little bit scary to see, but you know, it should be fine. It should be fine. We are pretty close as well. Well, relatively close to sort of somewhere around the end of this chapter. It's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, let's go grab the slate and see what we need to move on to the runic plate. So there we go. We get 8 more reinforced slates back, which is actually really nice. So we need 5 cracked runic plates now for this one. And that is going to be 10 total imbued slate, offensive core and a defensive core, which are not too bad to make. But we can get those automated. But I think before that, I think we can head up here and go ahead and make the Arcane Ashes at this point. A lot of this stuff looks a little bit not crazy. We do need to make an energetic infuser for the Phytogrow. But can we make rich Phytogrow? I mean, we need niter. Or we just need... We do need niter. Which... So, oh, by the way, for a niter... because it's a 40% chance to get one every time you pulverize some sandstone. So I did make a pattern here that says with 5 sandstone, you get 1, which is about double, or 1 niter for 5 sandstone is about half the expected value. So because it's like a chance thing, like in theory, I could ask for 100 niter. It's going to take 500 sandstone. In theory, that might not give me 100, but the expected value is 200 from that. So it should give you more than enough every time. I think I picked a high enough threshold, and it's not going to burn through like all of the sandstone either. Well, that's lovely. But yeah, I think that's a decent way to do it. And we do have the niter. We can auto craft it and do all that. So let's teach it how to make the different levels of Phytogrow. So slag is also not something that you can auto craft, right? I'm sure we can find some way to do it. Yeah, I mean, you could like craft a gear and then turn it back, and all it would cost would be the sand, and you get 20%. Like, it's not so bad. I'm sure there's an optimal way to do it here. But I will just go ahead and I'd rather use... How easy is sawdust to get? You can just pulverize wood, I assume. I don't know why these are showing like blank things, but I assume you can just pulverize. Maybe not. Oh, sawmill. You can sawmill logs, right? I think we should have quite a bit of sawdust anyway. Yeah, 21,000. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that then. Let's just say we have the sawdust we need. And so the rich Phytogrow... Okay, that's just with rich slag. So rich slag we have a bit of. Not quite something we're going to be able to auto-craft as easily. Will that need cinnabar? I guess we could just use some sand and ore. That's fine. That's probably going to be the best way to do it. In the induction smelter there. Okay. But yeah, let's just skip the step of the normal Phytogrow and just make the rich out of this stuff here. So you know how to craft most of that. There's plenty of sawdust, and you know how to craft niter. So the rich slag is the only concern. And then you need an energetic infuser, which I'm just going to teach you to craft because I'm too lazy to make all the ingredients myself, quite frankly. Don't know if I'm ever going to use another one of these, but that's okay if I don't. And I could just throw this down somewhere that's relatively open channel-wise, and then probably right here. And then you can make your rich phyto grow. And then the other stuff for the Arcane Ashes. The rest of this stuff shouldn't be too bad, right? So the bone meal bag, we know that's fine. All of that I can make. Bone blocks, I guess I can just make out of that, and then bone meal I can just get from bones. I think you may already know how to make bone meal. You don't? Okay. Okay, well, you just do it like that. And then, what else do you need there? Grains of the end. Grains of the end. No, you have grains of piezoality, but not grains of the end. Which also fine. That's just going to be that in a sag mill. And the only other thing is skystone dust, which I could just pulverize skystone. How much of that do I actually have? 990. That's fine. Okay, so I'll go load this up and maybe we can get our first Arcane Ashes? Maybe? Alright, I think we should be able to get at least one of these. All I have to do is tell this that you can pull out Arcane Ashes from the Hellfire Forge. And you know what? If we use the Hellfire Forge for much more going forward, it might be worth it to get that extraction set up with ID so it only extracts from the middle slot rather than having to set it up like that every time. But sure enough, looks like we can autocraft everything here. It's only going to use a couple of rich slag. It's not actually telling me like how much it... Well, because we already have the rich phyto growth, so it doesn't need to actually craft any of that. But I did go ahead and set up the energetic infuser over here, and it's just got the interface, and that's really slow, but that's okay. If we use it more, we can increase the speed, but we got the phyto grow pattern in there. And very, very cool. It's just crafting in the Hellfire Forge right now. Shouldn't take too much longer. Why is it saying stored soul vial? Did it just finish while I was running over here? It did. Awesome. Okay. So there's our Arcane Ashes. Very, very cool. And we get a few free ender crystals, and that's cool. So the divination sigil is cool and useful, I think. So let's go ahead and make one of these. So new information about various blood magic blocks. I don't know about all that, but yeah, the main thing is going to be finding out how much LP is in your network. How much blood is in the blood altar we can see from Wayla. But how much LP is a really useful one. So we just need a blank slate, and we need some engineer's goggles. Engineer's goggles here. So that's not too bad. Just need some orange glass. Do we have any orange dye? We do. Okay. Not sure why we have it, but we do. So we need some of those, and we need some empowered, or not empowered, but just regular void crystals. I could have just went ahead and made a stack of that. Maybe it would have saved a tiny amount of time in the future, because it does pretty much get made a stack at a time, I think, but not a huge deal. So there's our engineer's goggles. Now, I don't think there's a quest for those or anything, but let's grab a blank slate. So here's how the Arcane Ashes work. It's kind of a cool thing. You just throw them down on the ground. These have a durability, and you throw them down on the ground, and it uses some. So you like scatter the ashes. You put something in first. In this case, it's the blank slate. And then you put the second item in. In this case, the engineer's goggles. And then you get this cool stuff. And sometimes the animation is a little bit broken for some items. We'll see. It looks fine now. And then you get the item back. So there's our divination sigil. And we can get some of these glasses in return. But I will just leave that for now. But yeah, very cool. So we can see in our personal network now, there's 86,450 LP. If we head over to the altar, we can right click it. And that does actually just tell us more on Wayla. It's tier 3. Current capacity is 10,000. And it currently has 500 in it, which is awesome. So that's a super useful item to have going forward in blood magic. And I think next time we're going to move forward and get set up for finishing out this chapter, we may even move into a little bit of Botania with the floral fertilizer, because this is pretty easy to make at this point. But I know in order to actually do anything in Botania, you do kind of need to finish out this chapter. But that should be happening next time. But for now, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.